All right, guys. So today we are going to be working on building wealth. So I created a little course for you guys. It's pretty extensive, I think. And to be honest with you guys, a lot of this is going to be a refresher for me as well. And I'll give you guys a link to this course for free. I'll probably end up linking it in the videos below once I clip this live stream. So this is my live stream channel. If you're watching the clips, head over to my live stream channel. This is what it looks like right here. Just go to Bossio Live, versus what you're probably on is my Chris Bossio channel. If you don't know where to find my live streams, I had to move it over to this channel for the YouTube algorithm to give me some respect. So with that being said, man, let's start with module one. And I want to talk about something that's super overlooked and underrated. And that is why your job or your business is the real money printer if you want real wealth, right? And so here's a small quote right here. You don't get rich from investing small checks. You get rich by earning more, keeping more, and then investing larger amounts consistently. Okay. And the reason why I bring this up is because we're constantly taught that, in the way to build wealth is to cut out coffee, cut out expenses, live way below your means, pay cash for everything, and in 50 years you'll be wealthy, right? Because let's say you're the average American. Let's see what the average American makes per year. Let's check this out. Let's do median income. Median individual income in America. And guys, throughout this, if you have questions, I'm going to be checking the chat every now and then in between little breaks, and I'll answer as many questions as I can as we go through this. And if you think this is something that will help your loved ones, your friends, your coworkers, I would share this with them. That way people in your world get exposure to this, because the more people doing this that the better it is, man. A rising tide raises all ships, and this is part of why I've been successful, is because my entire team is on it, man. We're constantly talking about growth, whether that's financial, whether that's marriage, whether that's health, whether that's worship. We're constantly talking growth. So it's important to share these nuggets with these opportunities with your friends and family. All right, so and then smash the like for the algorithm if you can. So it says that the average full-time worker, the median full-time worker in 2022, I'm sorry, in 2022 was 60,000 a year. Okay. Let's see if they have something for 2024 or 2025, because obviously inflation, there's been a little bit of pay raises and stuff. I know barbers especially been raising the hell out of their prices. All right, so it's about 62,000 is the number. All right, that's the median. Wait, I lied. No, the median income for 2023, personal income was 42,000 in America. Where's this 62,000 come from? Oh, this is so only full time. If we're just using the full time wage, it's 62,000. So we're not going to include part timers. We're just going to do full time wage. The median income is 62,000 a year. All right. So 62,000 a year is approximately, what is that? 5,000 a month, right? So let's do the math on that. So let's assume you're the average person at 5,000 a month. Most people can't really invest with this type of money. And even if you could invest with 5,000 a month, what would it be? Let's just say it's $500 a month. Okay. So let's look at these numbers. Let's say you had $20,000 saved, okay, and that's what your initial investment. And every month you were going to invest $500 a month. And let's see what this looks like in 20 years, all right? And let's say that your estimated interest rate, your return is going to be 10%, because we're just doing the S&P 500, the QQQ, and we're going to go with those, right? Let's see what this comes out to. So in 20 years, you would have gained $478,000. Okay. Now, what if we just focused on our main thing and we didn't start investing? We didn't do none of that crap, man. We just focused on this, right? And the reason why we start here, guys, again, if I show you guys this, is because your income source is the real money printer. Investing $100 a month isn't going to change your life, but increasing your income, let's say by 2,000 a month, will. That's fuel for serious investing. And so think about it. What would it take for you to go from 5,000 to 6,000? The best, the smartest people, the people who build wealth, what they do is they add value. They don't work with what they have and try to make the most of it. They put in the work so that they could have more, so that they can invest what's left. So if they want something, they go get it, right? So let's say you have a dream car that you want. A wealthy person isn't just going to take from their savings account. They're going to say, yo, this season, I'm going to put in the work to earn that vehicle, right? So if you want to start investing and you want to do it where you can enjoy the journey, we got to go from 5K to 6K so we can invest 1,500 a month. So we can invest 1,500 a month. What does this scenario look like? And so let's go to the calculator and let's see what doing 1,500 a month versus that 500. Let's see how that changes things. Remember, it was 478,000 before. Let's calculate that number. Look at the difference. And for some of you guys, it's as simple as asking for a raise. Whether that's raising your prices because you're self-employed, like a barber, or you work a W-2 and you need you want a raise, or it might mean you got to leave where you work at currently and go find a place that's willing to pay you more. So we have to start here because this is the lowest hanging fruit to building wealth now, even if you want to start investing in stocks. That's why I tell people you got no business looking at stocks if you don't have the margin to be able to invest real money. Where every single financial advisor, the Dave Ramseys of the world, all that stuff, they're going to tell you, oh, cut your costs, boom, 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 just invest 10% of what you have. Well, 10% of 5,000 is only $500. Man, you're going to be working your whole life. This number needs to go down from 20. It needs to go up to 40 to be able to retire. Let's go to 30. Let's go to 30. So at 30, you could have 1.3 million in 30 years if you stick to that $500 a month of investing. But guys, just put in some work and you might be able to cut that down. Because at 1,500, let's go to 15 years instead of 30. That's 655,000. But we know at 20, that's 1 point something million, right? But what if we can get this number to 4,000 a month? I know that sounds crazy right now. But what if we can get that to 4,000? Look at what happens to this number, right? And so what I would challenge you guys to do is to look at what is the main thing you're doing now and how can you increase. Here's just some data behind this, okay? Here's just some data behind this. 10%, the top 10% of earners own 93% of all US stocks. So what I challenge you to do is what profession are you in and what do the top 10% of earners make in that profession? And let's make that your target and do everything in your power to get there. Spend all your time, your resources, instead of doing research on companies and day trading and wholesaling houses and drop shipping and this and that and this. Spend all your time trying to become a 10% earner in your field. And if your field doesn't have a high top 10%, you probably need a new field. You probably need a new profession. That's my recommendation. Because the bottom 50% of earners hold virtually no assets. They have no wealth because they don't have the surplus income to invest consistently. And that's part of the problem. If you don't have the surplus income, then you're not going to be able to stay in the market. I don't know if you guys have heard the term. It's better to stay in the market than time the market. The problem is a lot of you guys don't have the surplus income. So anytime you have a flat tire, you have a vacation you want to take, you got a tax bill you got to pay, you have to sell all your stocks. And you can't build wealth that way. So here's some tips, okay? If you have a W-2 job, all right, job hopping versus staying put, here's the numbers. So seeking a job somewhere else, the annual raise is 6.9% on average versus 4.5% if you stay put at the company that you're in. This is from ADP, okay? I'm not saying go leave your job. First, try to get a raise, but always be shopping, all right? Salary negotiation. This is part of the main statistics why they say women earn less than men. They're less likely to negotiate. And they say that the difference between someone who negotiates a salary versus another could be over $1 million over your career. $1 million invested. I don't care if you suck at investing. It's a game changer. Okay. And so the action step that I would take is I would go learn how to negotiate salaries. Go look at YouTube content. This is a salary negotiation checklist that you can check out as well. You can Google this. You can chat GPT this stuff. The whole point is just to put effort towards it. Now, if you're self-employed, 64 million Americans freelance in 2023. Over 1.27 trillion in revenue was created on Upwork. So maybe you have a job that you love and you don't want to leave, but and they're not really increasing your income, or they do increase your income and you're like, yo, I have another skill set. Now we can go look at a side hustle. You can side hustle on Upwork, side hustle on some. I know realtors that are very successful at what they do, but they're gonna drive around anyway, so they Uber. And when they Uber, they hand out a business card every time because they're meeting new people in the area and they let them know that they're realtors. There's a lot of different ways to create some supplemental income through freelance work. Okay. So whatever your skill sets may be, maybe you're good at building websites. Maybe you're great at Excel spreadsheet, right? Package your offers. Don't bill hourly, right? Make sure you're using automation tools to make your thing easy, right? And try to make some money on the side. And if you need some ideas, you can use tools like Hustlemaker AI, hustlemaker.ai, to give you ideas of side hustles if you want to, okay? But for example, if you're already self-employed, like you're a barber or a hairstylist or a massage therapist, you just need to lock in on that and make that the most powerful thing that you can. Guys, one of the things that I do, if you're new to my channel, is I mentor barbers. Okay, that's one of my main things. I know barbers that make $250,000 a year behind the chair, but I also know barbers that barely can buy their next meal. And then I know barbers who are totally happy making $70K and they're trying to do side hustles, not realizing if they just focus on the main thing, they wouldn't need to do a side hustle. They'd be at 120, 150, 200,000 a year just focusing on the main thing. Then they can go do side hustles if they want, okay? And then if you own a business, man, one of the biggest hacks for you is paid ads. Same thing for self-employed individuals. This is a great hack as well. Paid ads. And I'll show you what I mean right now, actually. So like, look at this. This is my barbershop's ads, all right? I am spending, let me see if I can find it. On this ad, $5. Each of these bookings is a haircut that costs $30. So you're telling me that I can get a 6x return every $5 that I put into this ad? Why would I put my money into the stock market? Oh, wait a second. You're telling me I can spend $3.35 to get a $30 haircut? Why? That's a 9x return. Why would I go spend money on ads? What I would do is I would pour my money into this because your business is the main stock you should be investing in. Your business is the main stock you should be investing in. And so if you can put in $5 into the machine and it spits out $30, you better max that out. You better max that out. And I don't just do it that for this. Look at another company that I do that for. Before I started investing in stocks, I was investing in my own companies, in my own stock. So I spent $15,000 in the last month, in the last 30 days on these ads. And it printed, take a look at this. What's $183? Let's do the math. 183 times 388, $71,000. So I was able to spend $15K and earn $71,000. Why wouldn't I just do this? That's one company. Let me show you another company that I do this with. This one I spent $4,000, okay? And I was able to create 3.5x that $4,000. So I turned $4,000 into what? $13,000. And that's because we're low on inventory.
But I can guarantee you, if I look at last month, I spent 13 to make, what is this? 13,000 to make, what is what is 481 times 173? That's $83,000. I spent 14K to make $83,000. So the point is, whoops, wrong screen. The point is, your main business, your main job, your main gig is the first stock you should be investing in, because that is going to be what powers. That's the real money printer that's going to power your wealth building as we start looking to diversify and start to make our money work for us. Okay? That's where people, they miss out on. So I highly recommend you invest in yourself. Yeah, so one of my ads looks like this. And if you're a barber and you want mentorship, check out 6FB 6FB. That's my mentorship program for barbers. Maybe one day I'll do it for businesses as well, just for general businesses as well. But I will tell you this, I have an accounting firm called pieaccounting.com, and that's for any business owner, anyone who's self-employed who needs help with their accounting. And then we do some budgeting and some strategy in there as well. I might just make the course available for Pie Accounting clients. Okay, let me show you guys what some of these ads might look like. So for my barbers, I'll show you a barber ad. And if you're a massage therapist, if you're a hairstylist, whatever you do, if you're a freelance worker, you can do the same exact thing, okay? So what I would do is I would create a campaign, all right? So these are my 2 campaigns that are on right now. In those campaigns, you'll have different ad sets, and these ad sets are gonna be based on whatever you want it to be. So I usually use the same creatives in every ad set, but then I'll test a different audience or different demographics, right? So each ad set might be different in that way. So there's 2 ad sets that are on right now. These are the ads that are in those ad sets. What I recommend is put as many ads, as many creatives as possible. So this is one creative, for example, as you can see here. It's just a picture with a white background. But then here's another creative, whoops, and it's an actual full-on video.
What's up, man? What is your name and how'd you find out about us?
Okay, you never know which one's gonna work. Some people would say this ad right here, come on, there we go, is fire.
Hey, Brandon Riverview, are you sick of constantly trying to find a new barber?
But guess what? This ad, where is it? This ad is smoking that one. This ad is just a plain easy picture and it's performing way better. But this one is performing the best. This video right here, this consulting video. But the other video isn't performing. So this one's performing the best. This one isn't performing that good. This one's performing the second best. You never know which ones are gonna perform. You need to let Meta's algorithm test all of it. And so they'll decide where they're gonna spend the most money, right? And which one's gonna perform the best. And if you don't know how to do this stuff, right? That's okay. If you join 6FB, look at this. There's a course on scaling Meta ads, and there's a course on scaling Google ads. All right. And maybe in the future I'll teach general businesses how to do it, but YouTube it. The only thing is that for barbers, there's not gonna be anything on YouTube that'll help you, because you need a software that's gonna allow you to install a pixel, and there's like no booking apps that allow you to install a pixel. So I give you the software for free included with 6FB that will allow you to install the pixel so you can run ads. All right. But that's off subject. Okay. So besides that, right? Like that's just ads. There's also marketing, there's flyers, there's opening new sales channels. That's creating systems and automations. That's creating new offers, right, to the same customers or reaching a broader audience. There's so many levers that you can pull, guys, in order to increase your business, whether you're self-employed or you're a business owner or you're an employee that's starting a side hustle. And one of the best ways that you can, this is a great feature, right? This is a great tool right here. I took acquisition.com's workshop. I spent like between me and my team that we all went out and checked out. I spent 20 grand on this, but you can get a free scaling roadmap from their website at acquisitions.com, right? Just look for go to acquisitions.com/roadmap and plug in your business's information, and it'll give you a plan to scale your business. The actual workshop that I spent money on is for anyone who makes $1 million or more a year. So I don't recommend that, but I do recommend if you're getting started, you check out this roadmap, this free tool right here. Okay. Once you scale and you're making $1 million a year, then I would go take the actual workshop because it's dope. It's worth it. And I'd probably bring some, whoever is on your leadership team to go as well. Okay. And so we've already kind of walked through how it multiplies your income, but imagine whatever that number is. Let's just say it's, I don't know. Let's say you are a massage therapist. What do the top 10% income earners in massage therapy earn? And let's see what that number is. Now, a lot of people don't file their taxes. So this information is going to be lower than the reality, than the truth. Most of the time it is. If you're self-employed, if you're in a profession that's a W-2, then it's probably going to be accurate. Okay. But you can see here that the top percent of massage therapists earn over $100,000 annually. So if you're not there, that needs to be your goal. I would put it as look, this is my actual background on my phone, my wallpaper, and I put what my focus is. So in this particular thing, I'm focused on my wet line products, my clippers, and my barbershops. What is your focus? 10%, top 10% income earner. What's the number? Put it down. That way you see it and you're reminded. And it's gonna it's gonna hold you accountable, because every time you open your phone, it's gonna make you feel like, damn, here I go. I'm going to Tetris instead of what it looks like on my wallpaper. Hopefully it that helps you, right? So here's some factors that influence the top earnings. Several factors, right? Experience and specialization. So therapists with extensive experience or specialized skills, like this is breaking down through ChatGPT what sets you apart from the rest. And it might be off by a little bit, but you should know. You should know what it's going to take. And if you don't, you need to ask your employer. You should probably speak to someone that you know is earning over 100K, see if they'll mentor you. Do whatever it takes to increase that income, man. This has to be your main focus. Okay. And so the summary for this lesson is, if you're an employee, you need to grow your skills, whatever it's going to take to be able to get a raise. You need to learn how to negotiate. Go watch YouTube videos, go learn, ask mentors how they negotiate. And if you've maximized your opportunity with your employer, you might need to go find a job at another employer. Okay. If you're a freelancer, if you're trying to create a side hustle, or you're a freelancer, package your skill sets up, raise your rates, try to create automations and systems to be a freelancer. If you're self-employed, you need to maximize the hell out of your business. A lot of you guys are self-employed and you don't do barely any marketing. 100 cards handed out a year is not enough. You got to do thousands of cards. And you need to make sure that your service is the best damn service you've ever given, or your product is the best product you've ever given. Treat it like it is your golden ticket, because it is. And then my business owners, you got to learn how to scale your business. You need systems. You need you need to help your team, whether that's develop them or add or hire people, delegate work. You can't do it all yourself. Learn how to run ads, learn some new marketing skill sets, and whatever you can, man, to create the systems and the automations to make your business even flow even better. That's what you got to do. So the number one step, once again, if you don't get it already, is your job or your business is the real money maker. Treat it like it. Focus everything you can on it. Okay? So that was module 1. I hope that was helpful to you guys. Let me see if there's any questions in here in the chat. And honestly, not trying to be cutting hair full time within the next 5 years. Yeah, it's more than doable. I haven't cut hair behind the chair in 5 years through my investments. And it's not just the stock market. Like I said, I have a portfolio of businesses that do 8 figures a year. I started with my own stocks first. And I'm not saying you guys should do that. Most people cannot manage 5 different businesses. I have a huge team and it just worked out for me. God is good. Shout out to God because he sent the right people to me, man. I got a hell of a team between my entire team. It's just amazing how they hold it down. And I don't do much of anything anymore because they are amazing. And that's the reason why I've been able to develop a portfolio that's that good. But it took 15 years for me to get there. If some of you guys are young and you don't want to run that many businesses, you don't even know how to get started, and you don't need to. Just focus on one thing. Because I could literally step away from the chair just from my barbershops and my investing and my stock investing. That's it. I do not have to work another day behind the chair if I don't want to, just from the business that I started 12 years ago and investing in real estate and the stock market. That's all you need. That's all you need. Now, if you want to get to 8 figures a year, you really got to scale businesses and do more. But for a better lifestyle, if what you're looking for is a good life, a righteous one, you want to have time with your family. You don't want money to be an issue anymore. You want to have core memories. You want to be able to live in the moment more. You don't want to trade time for money anymore. If that's what you want, you don't need a shit ton of businesses. You need to focus on one thing and then let your money work for you. And we're about to start breaking down how to get to that in these later steps, okay?